U.S. forces give the nod.
Tonight, with your permission, I'd like to give it a whirl. I want to thank the Prime Minister for a very productive meeting that we had today. I think she'll agree it was a real chinwag. When Julie and I meet, we listen to each other. We learn from each other. It's not just a lot of ear bashing. That's a good one, ear bashing. I can use that in Washington. Because there's a lot of ear bashing sometimes. And so tonight, as we mark 60 years of this remarkable alliance through war and peace, hardship and prosperity, we gather together among so many friends who sustain the bonds between us. And we can say with confidence and with pride, the alliance between the United States and Australia is deeper and stronger than it has ever been. Spot on. Crackerjack. In top neck. Thank you very much, everybody.
Mr. President, it gives me great pleasure to invite you to address the House.
Prime Minister Gillard, Leader Abbott, thank you both for your very warm welcome. Mr. Speaker, Mr. President, members of the House and Senate, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for the honor of standing in this great chamber to reaffirm the bonds between the United States and the Commonwealth of Australia, two of the world's oldest democracies and two of the world's oldest friends. To you and the people of Australia, thank you for your extraordinary hospitality. And here in this city, this ancient meeting place, I want to acknowledge the original inhabitants of this land and one of the world's oldest continuous cultures, the first Australians. I first came to Australia as a child, traveling between my birthplace of Hawaii and Indonesia, where I would live for 4 years. As an 8-year-old, I couldn't always understand your foreign language. Last night, I did try to talk some Strine. Today, I don't want to subject you to any ear bashing. I really do love that one, and I will be introducing that into the vernacular in Washington. But to a young American boy, Australia and its people, your optimism, your easygoing ways, your irreverent sense of humor, all felt so familiar.
And trenches all in row.
It is why I salute Australia, outside of NATO, the largest contributor of troops to this vital mission. And it's why we honor all those who have served there for our security, including 32 Australian patriots who gave their lives. Among them, Captain Bryce Duffy, Corporal Ashley Burt, and Lance Corporal Luke Gavin. We will honor their sacrifice by making sure that Afghanistan is never again used as a source for attacks against our people. Never again. As two global partners, we stand up for the security and the dignity of people around the world. We see it when our rescue workers rush to help others in times of fire and drought and flooding rains. We see it when we partner to keep the peace, from East Timor to the Balkans, and when we pursue our shared vision, a world without nuclear weapons. We see it in the development that lifts up a child in Africa, the assistance that saves a family from famine, and when we extend our support to the people of the Middle East and North Africa, who deserve the same liberty that allows us to gather in this great hall of democracy. This is the alliance we reaffirm today, rooted in our values, renewed by every generation. This is the partnership we worked to deepen over the past 3 years. And today I can stand before you and say with confidence that the alliance between the United States and Australia has never been stronger. It has been to our past. Our alliance continues to be indispensable to our future. So here, among close friends, I'd like to address the larger purpose of my visit to this region. Our efforts to advance security, prosperity, and human dignity across the Asia-Pacific. For the United States, this reflects a broader shift. After a decade in which we fought two wars that cost us dearly in blood and treasure, the United States is turning our attention to the vast potential of the Asia-Pacific region. In just a few weeks, after nearly 9 years, the last American troops will leave Iraq, and our war there will be over. In Afghanistan, we've begun a transition, a responsible transition, so Afghans can take responsibility for their future and so coalition forces can begin to draw down. And with partners like Australia, we've struck major blows against al-Qaeda and put that terrorist organization on the path to defeat, including delivering justice to Osama bin Laden. So make no mistake, the tide of war is receding, and America is looking ahead to the future that we must build. From Europe to the Americas, we've strengthened alliances and partnerships. At home, we're investing in the sources of our long-term economic strength, the education of our children, the training of our workers, the infrastructure that fuels commerce, the science and the research that leads to new breakthroughs. We've made hard decisions to cut our deficit and put our fiscal house in order, and we will continue to do more. Because our economic strength at home is the foundation of our leadership in the world, including here in the Asia-Pacific. Our new focus on this region reflects a fundamental truth. The United States has been and always will be a Pacific nation. Asian immigrants helped build America, and millions of American families, including my own, cherish our ties to this region. From the bombing of Darwin to the liberation of Pacific Islands, from the rice paddies of Southeast Asia to a cold Korean peninsula, generations of Americans have served here and died here, so democracies could take root, so economic miracles could lift hundreds of millions to prosperity.
Divided world, the CIA.
Americans have bled with you for this progress, and we will not allow it, we will never allow it to be reversed. Here we see the future as the world's fastest growing region and home to more than half the global economy. The Asia-Pacific is critical to achieving my highest priority, and that's creating jobs and opportunity for the American people. With most of the world's nuclear power and some half of humanity, Asia will largely define whether the century ahead will be marked by conflict or cooperation, needless suffering, or human progress. As president, I have therefore made a deliberate and strategic decision. As a Pacific nation, the United States will play a larger and long-term role in shaping this region and its future by upholding core principles and in close partnership with our allies and friends. Let me tell you what this means. First, we seek security, which is the foundation of peace and prosperity.
Control the issue.
So here's what this region must know. As we end today's wars, I have directed my national security team to make our presence and mission in the Asia-Pacific a top priority.
Leave us with no time to talk.
So here's what this region must know. As we end today's wars, I have directed my national security team to make our presence and mission in the Asia-Pacific a top priority. As a result, reductions in U.S. defense spending will not, I repeat, will not come at the expense of the Asia-Pacific. My guidance is clear. As we plan and budget for the future, We will allocate the resources necessary to maintain our strong military presence in this region. We will preserve our unique ability to project power and deter threats to peace. We will keep our commitments, including our treaty obligations to allies like Australia. And we will constantly strengthen our capabilities to meet the needs of the 21st century. Our enduring interests in the region demand our enduring presence in the region. The United States is a Pacific power, and we are here to stay. And we are here to stay. And we are here to stay.